it's done. If I saw that, I'm talking about Zach Wilson.
He did act like it was his team. I mean, he definitely was acting like it was his team.
Oh, my goodness. Your reaction.
Well, I mean, I never doubted you, Baker.
Oh.
And it feels so good. And you know what? I'm going to take a page out of Kevin Wild's book and Chris Broussard's book.
What?
Wow.
I think
those
it's
are
time for
nice
some
glasses,
shades.
I'll tell you that.
Time for some
Those are
shades.
nice.
98-yard celebratory drive.
Oh, God.
And I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
What? Is this against the HIPAA rules or something? I'm not sure. All I know is this, bro. Sam Darnold couldn't do that. I know that. I know it feels so good this morning to wake up. Me and Skip Bayless, the two people that never left Baker Mayfield's side. The two people that believed in him from the very beginning. I had to listen to this. Oh, they're better with P.J. Walker. He's got to compete with Sam Darnold. And did I waver for a moment? Did I have a moment where I questioned it? Maybe, but I can't prove
7 moments.
I can't. No.
Right. What happened to that? That's gone.
No, hold on, Wilds.
Yeah.
Do you remember me ever turning on
I'll
him?
be 100% honest with you, bro. I have been on this show for 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't have every single sentence of the show memorized, but one thing I do know is he's Mr. Consistency.
Exactly. And
if
Mr.
he believes
Consistency
in Baker, he's
has
always
believed in Baker Mayfield.
Boom.
The only time I picked against him publicly was when we went to Arrowhead to play my beloved Chiefs in a playoff game.
Totally fair.
And I'm going to add one other point. Let me take these shades off. Quite nice shades, I might
Really
add.
nice.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Those are nice.
So let me add this
They
to the point.
fold. You
They
just keep
fold up.
folding.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Put them right away. I had to listen to the fact that after Odell Beckham Jr.'s father reposted an Instagram video from a fan, that it was evidence of Baker's incompetence that not a single Brown came to his defense.
Well.
So based on that standard, I would like to present to you the entirety of postgame last night. Van Jefferson being asked on the field how they won, and him saying, we got Baker Mayfield, that's how. The post-game locker room. The players around the league, across sports, seemingly happy and celebrating Baker Mayfield's moment. It is a moment like that, Brew, that can turn around a player's career.
Wow.
The longest drive to win a game in the final 2 minutes in NFL history. I will say it again. The longest game-winning drive in the final 2 minutes in NFL history, and Baker Mayfield orchestrated it. I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold does this weekend for the Panthers if he gets on the field.
Okay, Wilds, do not go along with this. All right? That was cute.
It was
Okay,
brilliant.
it was creative. You look like Kelly from the Bad News Bears. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's what you look like with your shades.
years
on.
ago.
Way over there. That was the '70s, so maybe the
that's
audience doesn't
50
remember.
years ago.
Google it. All right, Kelly, Bad News Bears. But anyway,
Guy with sunglasses.
Go ahead.
Nick.
What, buddy?
I just remember yesterday. All right, you act like we don't have people watching the show every day.
I thought it would be unfair to put him in the game.
Me and America. No, you didn't just say unfair. You said your hero, your champion, should go to Sean McVay.
Yep.
I do. That does ring a bell.
Yeah.
Sean, look, if he can't go,
I'll go.
I get it.
Which is what happened.
But please, I beg of you, don't play me. That's what you were doing yesterday. And
I
now you got the
underestimated him.
audacity.
One of his biggest lifelong proponents, even I didn't think he could do what he did last night. Even I thought that.
Sure
but I'm
didn't.
just curious how this
didn't.
landed at your doorstep.
Well, look, I'm going to say this. And as you know, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan.
No.
I'm not a hater.
No.
But I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. But all I can do. Seriously.
That's good.
If you are not a Raiders fan, remember, he went out there. We talked about it yesterday. He had no more than a 5% chance of being successful.
95%
that he would fail.
Right.
Go out there with a 5% chance, and if you're not a Raiders fan,
and why would
you
you be?
weren't a bit choked up, right?
Well, that seems like
I gotta be this dude. I mean, he leads the Browns to the first playoff victory in 26 years. They reward him by going out and getting the guy to replace him, who
you're
we
playing
wouldn't
my
even play
song.
for a whole year, essentially.
That's right.
All right? Then he goes to Carolina and gets benched.
Yeah.
Forget Sam Darnold. He was behind P.J. Walker, who wasn't even drafted by the end. And I got to admit, it felt good. It was just heartwarming.
And
to
can I
see
just
what
be
we saw
serious
last
here
night.
for a moment?
Yes.
I'm not saying that it is definitively going to go down like this. But there is obviously talent that Baker Mayfield has. And it's not just collegiate talent either. We have seen him over the course of an entire NFL season play really well. That was lost somewhere along the way amongst coaching changes and franchise changes and injuries and all of that. It is on the board, Wilds, that last night was the fork in the road moment. That if he had been claimed by the Texans and they had him play in a couple weeks, that Baker's career, that he is not even making any of these shows because he's not a relevant player anymore. But now not only is he at a glamour franchise with a glamour coach, but he got that moment, Wilds, which to me, we'll see how it plays out long term, but it was a shocking sports moment from a guy that you believe maybe it wasn't a fluke because of the pedigree.
Yeah, I think it's first line of the resume right now for Baker. So let's talk about Baker's future.
I see a problem. I see a problem. And I wish I had seen this yesterday before the game because I would have went out strong. Not like you did with kind of, he might do awesome things. I don't know. Can he do awesome things?
Why can't Brew just be happy for your correct?
Well, no, you weren't. You didn't call it, Rob. You let it hover out there. You didn't call it. Okay. Anyway, I should have known. Baker Mayfield is at his best when everybody doubts him, when his back's against the wall and he's got nothing to lose and nobody expects a thing, right? Sure. He's a 3-star recruit out of high school. He walks on at Texas Tech. He's great.
Yeah.
He leaves and goes to Oklahoma, walk on.
Yep.
He's great, wins a Heisman. Even though he was the number 1 pick, when he went to Cleveland, a lot of people doubted that pick. His own coach, Hugh Jackson, didn't believe in him. He's freaking backing up Tyrod Taylor. And he goes out there and has breaks the record for rookie touchdowns, 27. The next year, we got us a quarterback. He's kind of down. Then the next year, he wins a playoff game when his coach isn't even there because of COVID.
True. Yep.
No one expects them to beat Pittsburgh. He goes out there. I don't even have a head coach, and I'm great. Expectations up again, plummets.
Right.
And that is, look, I'm not saying he can't fix that, but right now he has problems playing with expectations.
And you think last night by itself generated
Last night, of course,
again.
no one, barring a 5% of Wilds,
That's right.
thought that he would do right? He had nothing to lose. It's like nobody expects a thing, and he's great. So I want to see him over these next 4 games, and see if he can play now, because now expectations are up, right?
So
they're going to expect him to play.
I want to see him stay there. I want to see him go to McVay and say, you know what? I want to be your backup. So when you look at the list of Baker's coaches, head coaches, and offensive coordinators,
yeah, that is nuts.
He hasn't been in the league for 20 years. This is a wild turn of events. He just needs one guy. And watching that game last night when he's looking over to the sideline, Nick, I'm like, has Sean McVay installed an offense in 48 hours that works better than anyone in his entire Cleveland tenure was able to do? So I want to see him stay here. Prisoner of a moment, lock me up. I want to see Baker in L.A.
Even if it means he's not the starter next season.
Yeah, what do you want to go start for the Texans?
Well, so that's exactly
right.
So I agree with you entirely, especially because, listen, I don't know how much longer Matt Stafford's going to play. And I don't want to be morbid here, but it is noteworthy. Matt Stafford's wife is totally healthy now, but had an incredibly scary health scare, if you remember. She had a benign brain tumor a few years ago. I think that is kind of level setting about what your long-term life plans are. Then when you hear Stafford is dealing with a spinal cord potential issue, he has the ring. I don't think he's walking
played
away.
What, 15 years?
Right, exactly. And so I think that Stafford, even if you expect him to play next season for the Rams, you don't expect him to play the next 5 for the Rams, right?
Fair.
So I think that there is a great opportunity in Los Angeles to be a sponge under. The other thing Baker's never had in his career is a better quarterback than him in the room.
It's true.
And you know what I mean? So even a lot of the young quarterbacks that are successful are drafted. Take Mahomes. I don't know if Alex Smith was ever better than him, but he had a competent long-term starter, someone to learn from. He's never had that. He's never had a coach, I would argue, he can learn from like McVay. The only play, because I agree with you, don't go to Houston where they're going to draft the quarterback number 1 overall as a bridge guy. Don't go to Indy where you're going to be competing with whomever they draft. There's one spot that I would say I would expect them to make a phone call to Baker's agent this offseason because the rumors were they liked him in his draft and they're going to need a quarterback, and that's the Patriots. Okay. And I would imagine
it was pretty good for a little while. It was solid for a little while.
I'm totally serious.
It was solid for
that
a
I think
little while.
The Patriots, and if I'm Baker, Belichick, I understand, is defensive-minded coach, but that would be something I would consider. But I think the Rams, as the quarterback after Stafford.
Good question quickly, though.
Go.
If he can go to a bad to mediocre team and start, or have a great chance to start, we
saw that in Carolina.
I agree.
I
would stay in with the Rams.
I would have said be a starter if you want to be a starter, but I said that last year. He went to Carolina, and it did not work at all. And if you go to a bad team, you're usually going to be on that head coach carousel again.
That's right.
Because bad teams fire their coaches.
The only weird part is we like that idea of like the Marcus Mariota and then start, and Mitch Trubisky sit behind Josh Allen and start. And they both lost their jobs.
Right, because they're not any good.
Right, you gotta keep
that's
it.
Caveat.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Baker. We'll see.
We're not sure about.
He was great last night. Great story, but we'll see.
All right, we're talking about the Raiders. First team to blow 4 double-digit halftime leads in a season. Smart people had them going to the Super Bowl with leads like this.
Yeah.
Person, thought it was doable.
Person.
So where do they go from here, Nick?
All right. First of all, if I may, vindication in full for the committee.
Facts.
The entire NFL media all week, what was a bubbling middle of TV show story? Look out for the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders, a game out of the playoffs. Oh, the Raiders. And you know what the committee said? Eliminated once, eliminated forever, and now the Raiders are relegated to the dustbin of the season. Yeah, listen, McDaniels has been a disaster. He has now blown more double-digit halftime leads than, hold on, the numbers are
bad.
4 of his 13 games they've led by double digits at halftime and lost. That is the most in Raiders history. Art Shell coached there twice for a combined more than 100 and some games. He has more than him. He has more than Gruden, who coached there twice for more than 100 and some games. It's a disaster. Here's the
fire him?
I would, if I were the Raiders and I were being honest about trying to win the AFC West, I'd salt the earth. I'd trade Carr for a first and something. It's only a $5 million cap hit, and I would start over.
Or
I would start over.
So what
about
draft a quarterback
cutting?
better than Mahomes?
What?
Like, there's no
what
point.
about cutting Carr?
Well, I don't think you need to.
It's only a $5 million cap hit, as you said.
I think you can get a first-round pick for Derek Carr. I think yes, because Derek Carr is fine, but the new coach and Carr, they're not going to get. They're 7 steps away from being 3 steps away.
Here's what I'll say. Look, McDaniels. We'll see how it ends in the next 4 games. He may have saved his job over this last month, right? I thought he should have been gone a month ago, but if I'm them, I am moving on somehow, some way from Derek Carr. And I go sign Tom Brady as a free agent.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I think that's one thing that Devontae Adams would, like, he's going to be upset if they get rid of Derek Carr. They gave Carr that extension to match up with Devontae Adams' contract. But if you bring in Tom Brady, he'll be like, oh.
Why is Brady going there? Why is Brady want to go
Because you got
Raiders?
Devontae, you got a good receiving core, great receiver, and you got a great running game. The defense can improve, but it could improve. It actually can get better.
Can I just 10 seconds here. The 3 worst losses by any team in the league this year. The bronze medalist is blowing a 16-point lead to the clown show in Arizona. The Raiders did that. The silver medalist is losing to Jeff Saturday in his debut. The Raiders did that. And the gold medalist is last night, blowing a 13-point lead with 3.5 minutes left to a guy off the street 24 hours prior.
Maybe Brady feels like he obviously can work with Josh.
Yeah, maybe. 100 yards of penalties don't help.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.